Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, please hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Pisces. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, I like that when they just fall out and it's like, pick me. Show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. Now let's see before we see the chakra energy, the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, a gift of prosperity. The Eight of Wands, things start to change. The Two of Wands, we're seeing our place within our world, but also the fact that we can open up our world, that we can move forward within it. The Queen of Swords, this is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you're born on the cusp with Aquarius, or if you have strong Aquarius energy within your chart, this is absolutely shining through. And it's the warrior queen, so you're a bit of a badass. It's like, I can do this, I'm going this way. We have the Seven of Cups. Our dreams really do start to be a pivotal part of our hearts during this time. The Four of Wands, that beautiful connection, that coming together, that celebration. The Five of Pentacles, poverty mentality. So it's almost like, I don't deserve this. I'm moving towards my goals, but do I get to have them? I've been so used to being on the outside looking in. How can I move forward the way that I really need to? And then we have the Knight of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If we're born on the cusp with Aries, that's the part of our personality that's going to shine through very intensely, but it also makes us a bit reckless. It's kind of like, I can do this, and I'm going to protect what I know and what I want and where I need to be. And there can be conflicting desires, information during this time. So we do have to be mindful of that. We have the Six of Swords, gathering up our knowledge, gathering up our wisdom, and moving forward. So there is something that we're moving towards. There can be a look at at a change. Where do I want to be? How do I want to be? Yeah. The 10 of Wands, the burdens that we carry, the devil, which is Capricorn energy, time frame December 22nd to January 19th, what we're chained to, our addictions, our hurts, our pains, the places that we're wounded, that people can attack, and people do attack. But it doesn't even have to be that they attack. It's just the places that we are wounded or very sensitive about, that when things come up, it brings up that sensitivity. It brings up that heightened sense of pain. So do be mindful. And it's going to really kind of have us doubt if we can move forward. So it plays into exactly what our heart is showing us. Can I go after what I love? Can I go after what I want? There's a Capricorn energy that could have made you feel as if you walked in poverty all the time, as if wealth wasn't for you, it was for other people, but not for you. And it doesn't even have to be a Capricorn. It can just be somebody who is very much like, well, you need to fit in this box, you need to be this way. If you're not like that, how do you ever think that you're supposed to succeed? They don't realize that different is okay. They don't realize that everybody doesn't have to fit into this little box, this little space, this little way of being. All right, so now let's look at the chakra energy. Pisces. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And so we have here family, the root chakra. Now, this is the family that we're born into, the family that raises us, the family that we create for ourselves. This is the sense of these connections and these emotional connections being so intrinsically important during this time. We need to connect with those that we love. Even if it's just calling up or FaceTiming, but if we can get together and have a face-to-face, that's going to be so important. And here at our root, it's that sense of connection. It's that sense of camaraderie. It's that group sense. It's the tribal mentality that we as human beings were meant to live in. We were meant to be in contact with, 50 people, that type of community. 50 people or less, but yeah, it was about 50 people that lived in a tribe, in a clan. So here, it's connecting with that clan, that tribe, that sense of, this is maybe not even where I belong all the time, but this is my safe space. This is my way of building me forward. This is where I feel happy. And we can have that connection at different parts and at different times in our lives. When I like to go climbing, right? So when I go climbing, I like it that I know the people that are there. And it's a sense of community. It's a sense of feeling safe. It's a sense of I can ask any question and not be good at this and not be judged. So here, it's that type of thing. It's like we need this core little group. And it can be at different places. It's kind of like why people like to go to the same place, because they feel welcome, they feel invited. And that sort of a feeling, that sort of human connection, that's so important, especially after, the time that we've been through and are still going through. It leads us now to the energy that we are to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Pisces needs to be mindful of? May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. What is the energy that Pisces needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. It's the Princess of Swords. Now, the Princess of Swords is the underdeveloped Queen of Swords. So this is a person who we are going to feel some sort of connection with, because they show the potential that we have within us, that is part of our personal, our inner selves during this time. But a princess is just that. It is a person who acts like a princess, a person who wants what they want when they want it, who, needs what they need when they need it, and doesn't have the consideration for others. It isn't going to be that person that kind of gets wrapped up in things and gets overly excited. It's going to be that person that can be hurtful and spiteful and very cutting with their words and very manipulative within their actions. So just being mindful of that is going to be astoundingly important. Now, it leads us here to starting off this reading with a gift. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing you a gift of prosperity, wealth, and abundance. This is a gift that makes us think, I can do this. It's a seed that's being planted. It's a sense of, can I move forward, the way that I want to? Can I open myself up to my dreams, to what I desire? Can I find my space within this world, my talent? And so often we sit there and we think our talent is supposed to be something grandiose. So we'll sit there, we'll be within ourselves, we'll be talking to ourselves, thinking to ourselves, and be saying, well, I don't have a talent. I haven't found what I'm good at. You have. We all know that place where time flies, where we feel the surge of creativity, the surge of connection, the surge of power. And it can be very subtle, but it's also very beautiful. It just might not be what makes millions of dollars. And because our world, we have a tendency to judge the worth of a person by the bank account of a person, which is wrong. We might sit there and know what lights up our heart, what makes us feel like this is where I belong. But because it's not a big ticket item, we walk past it. It's time to go back to it. It's time to look at the seeds that are planted within us, of prosperity and abundance. And it's time to say, they're surrounded around my gifts. Now, it might not be that what we love to do pays the bills. We might have to go and have a 9 to 5 or whatever time period you wind up working in, job to pay the bills, to keep things going. But this is a gift that starts to broaden the horizons, that starts to make us think there's richness in me, around me, and a part of me. And it moves us to the 8 of Wands. It moves us to life speeding up. And we're speeding up with it. We can be taken along for the ride during this time. We can really feel almost rather helpless. It's like things are happening and they won't stop happening and they keep on going. But this is also a time where we start looking at ourselves and looking at what we want and what we desire and being swept away with the possibilities. Also, the hardships, the pains, the disappointments, the angers can really get in there. But being swept up in the possibilities is going to be so profound for us. To open up the door, to see who we are, to see where we want to be, and realize that there is greatness. So during this time, as we have this gift sweeps us away, moves us forward, has us looking at things differently. And it brings us to this place where instead of looking at the world and looking at ourselves and thinking, oh my goodness, like they're going to find me out as an imposter. They're going to, doubt me. I'm going to not be able to be where I want to be, or I don't even know where I want to be. We're starting to see where I stand right now. It might be that where I stand right now is not where I want to be in the long run at all. But I'm looking at the world and I'm starting to see that I belong here, that there's power to me, that there's vision to me. And you might be saying, Dean, I already know that I belong here. I already know what I want. Well, this is a time then, if you know what you want, where you meditate, you embrace a bit of joy, you let the prosperity build within you. And it's by feeding it, nurturing it, through calm meditation, through joyful play, there's a sense of letting it grow, so that as you get swept away with the blessing that you've already claimed, okay, you can start to see where you stand within your world, what you desire within yourself, and where it is that you want to be in the long run. It doesn't mean that we are going to be there instantaneously. It means that we're building towards a dream that we have right now. As life accumulates, as time moves on, that dream may very well change, morph, and become. But right now, we're cutting through a lot of the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets that held us back. There's a sense of needing to speak our truth, not in an angry, sharp-tongued way, which is sometimes how the swords are described, as anger and sharp tongue. No, they're the weapons. It's the mind is a weapon. The swords represent the mind. They represent the air that fills the lungs, the ability for speech. So here, there's a sense of, yes, what I'm bringing to the table, my mind, my desire, my intellect, my power, it is a weapon. And it is the weapon that voiced my battle cry into this world, that moves me forward. I'm here for change. The Queen of Swords does not come to keep things the same and be quiet and meek and sit in the corner. She's the battle queen. She's the queen that takes up her sword and says, this is what needs to be done. This is where we need to be. And I'll be damned if I'm not going after it. And so that's what we're doing here. We're starting to go after what we desire, what we want, what we need, where we long to be. And it leads us to our dreams, because the Queen of Swords sees our gifts, sees the way the world is moving, the way that we're moving. We're swept away in this sense of this duality of, I get to celebrate my life, but I also get to be totally overwhelmed by it. And I mean, that makes so much sense. It's powerful. But here we can get swept away in passion because we have the wands, and also in career. So the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, is saying, I see. I see what it is that's going on, and I'm calling it out. I'm also looking at my dreams, my hopes, my desires, my longings, my wants, the things that I've kept on the back shelf, tucked away, and saying, why not bring them to life? Why not bring them forward? If not now, then when? If not me, then who? Who gets to live their dreams? Who gets to have their greatest desires come forward? We read that all the time with people and their success stories. Why can't we be a success story? It doesn't mean that we have to be a model or a, artist or a CEO or anything like that. It means that we are successful within our lives. Because here's the thing, and I can tell you this for certain, is that when you have people who everybody admires, it doesn't necessarily mean that they admire themselves. So when we're looking at our dreams, our hopes, and our desires, we're looking at who we want to be, where we want to be, and how to open up the door. We're looking at the things that are so sacred to us that it almost feels like if I bring them into the waking world, they'll be sullied. They'll be ruined in one way or another. Now it's time to take the cloth off, to see the dreams, instead of keeping it for special always so that it's never used. It's letting that special thing be kept with you always, being a part of you now. And it moves us to celebration, prosperity, success, joy, happiness. I mean, the Four of Wands is a minor arcana wedding card. It is a sense of, this is what I get to celebrate. This is where I get to be. This is what I want and love and adore in my life right now. And I get to shout it from the rooftops. I get to have the beauty here. This is also new job opportunities. This is moving house. It's a sense of newness that brings forward celebration. And as we embrace this newness, as we embrace this understanding, this power, this insight, this embracing of self and what we desire and self-desire, we start to see ourselves more clearly. We start to embrace the joy. But what's very interesting is that we go from 4 to 5. And 5 is a bit of trouble. The 5 cards are a bit of trouble because 5 denotes freedom. And so we need to face the darkness, our fears, our doubts, our hurts, our pains, our past, in order to have the freedom, in order to be a part of ourselves. So the 5 of Wands is the poverty mentality. It's being outside of wealth. It's feeling shut out in the cold. And there's a sense here of, how can I celebrate? If in my heart is also the sense of, when's the next shoe going to drop? When is everything going to fall apart? How can I get to where I want to be? What is it that I desire? Where is it that I want? And what is it that I want? The 5 of Pentacles brings about a lot of questions, but it also brings the fear forward. So if we were raised in a home where money was an issue, there wasn't enough money, one person was very domineering with money, we always heard, oh, that toy's too expensive, how can you be so selfish, I have to pay the bills, I have to go to work, and you're here wanting, this video game, I can't believe it, or you're here wanting a new bike, just stop. So we can have issues with money that build when we're very small. They can also come when we're in relationships. One person grew up with scars around money or anger around money, and they shared that then with us, which is not nice, but it's how life works. When we connect with another person, we're connecting with their story. It's not just the fun moments that we're getting. It's all the moments in between that made them who they are. And so with the 5 of Pentacles, we're looking at where that poverty mentality started. Did it start when we married our partner? Did it start, or, started dating this person? Did it start at a very young age when our father, our mother, our caregiver paid the bills and screamed and yelled and was just an absolute tyrant and everybody hid away? Where does the hurt come from? Where is the pain? And how do we make this no longer the living part of our story now, but a part of our past, a chapter that doesn't have to be read over and over and over again, a scene in the movie that doesn't have to be replayed over and over and over? It leads us to the Knight of Wands. We're going to want to be rather reckless, is what it's saying. We're going to want to charge forward, go after, defeat and claim and prove. And sometimes that's needed to be done. Sometimes we just need to be a little bit frivolous, a little bit carefree, but not so much at the expense of ourselves. The Knight of Wands also is opened. Okay, so the Ouroboros right here is open, the serpent eating its own tail. It denotes that we are not at the point yet where we are living in the constant death and rebirth of wisdom, of knowledge turned into wisdom, of ideas turned into knowledge, turned into wisdom, and lived in our lives. Because that's what we do. We are the Ouroboros eating its own tail, which can seem rather fatalistic or nihilistic, but it isn't. It's a sense of, I'm taking this knowledge and I am devouring who I once was to be who I am now. And that person who I once was will not be the same person I am in a year, 2 years. I mean, they say every 7 years you're a new person, right? You have all new skin cells or something like that. So here, there is this sense of, I know I am changing. I know I am moving forward. I know that life is progressing. And with the Knight of Wands, we know that progression. Okay, but we also know the rashness. We know the desire just to keep on pushing forward, just to go after our goals, to achieve, to accomplish. And it can lead to rage, and also instability, because we're so busy proving something to someone, usually to ourselves, that we forget why we started out on this journey. And we started out on this journey to be able to accrue the wisdom, to bring it forward into our lives, to have it be a part of us, and to live in this rebirth, regenerative cycle. And it moves us then, as we start to see this, and as we realize the rashness of our own hearts. But also, this could be a person who cheated on us. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship. It can be that we gave them our trust. We gave them our respect and our loyalty, and they just pushed it right back in our face. And we have to ask ourselves, at a time when we have the betrayal coming up, were we raised for loyalty, or were we raised for autonomy? Esther Perel asked this, and it's rather a brilliant and beautiful question, because if we were raised for loyalty, when I give my loyalty to a person, I expect to give it in return. If you're raised for autonomy, when a person gives you their loyalty, it's like, okay, that's great, but it's going to be me first. That's what autonomy is. I have to take care of myself first, and then I can help everybody else. But if we're raised for loyalty, it's a group effort. You can't get there without the clan, the tribe, the connection. And so here, during this time, when we're charging forward, we have to ask ourselves, what are we charging to? What is our idea of happiness and connection and prosperity and success? What are we fighting for? Does it seem to be different than what everybody else is fighting for? And is that a bad thing? Or is that a good thing? It moves us then to the Six of Swords. We're taking our knowledge, we're taking our understanding, and we are moving forward. Do we know exactly where we're headed all the time? No. Are we scared? Absolutely. But we have to move. This is a time where emotions can run high. In the public arena, we can feel sensitive, we can feel kind of unsure and shaky on our feet. And there is a real sense here of, as I am moving forward, I'm seeing things, I'm experiencing things within myself, internally, externally, there we go, that bring forward a sense of unease, doubt, fear, chaos. But I need to look at it. It's like I need to see it so that I can embrace how I move forward and what I desire. I need to see this fear so that it doesn't eat me alive. And it brings us then to the Ten of Wands. What am I carrying? What is the burden that I am carrying that keeps me always looking at the dirt of my own feet? Why can't I look at the sky? Why can't I call in the beauty? Why can't the joy, the loveliness be a part of my life? The Ten of Wands says enough is enough. What are we taking on at work? Do we have the idea that just say yes to every single thing that they ask me to do? I'll just keep on saying yes, keep on saying yes, keep on saying yes, keep on stretching myself so thin that I snap. I get sick, I start to ache, I start to lose all joy in life. Life becomes tinged in gray, it becomes dulled, the colors are muted. What's going on? The 10 of Wands says, what's going on? Why is it that I'm carrying this burden? And why is it that I've been carrying this burden for so long? The 10 of Wands is a game-changing time. It is a time where we look at things and say, there's more. And I need to put down the burdens. I can carry them one by one to where they need to be, if need be. But I can also look at what I desire and see what I'm working towards. And let people carry their own burdens, carry their own weight. It isn't my job to make sure everybody is happy and comfortable and safe and secure for their whole entire lives. They have to be uncomfortable. As human beings, we learn the most when we are uncomfortable, when we are pushed from our comfort zones, when we doubt, when we fear, when we cry. It doesn't mean that we push people into, like oncoming traffic type of thing. We don't throw people to the wolves, but we need to give them their burdens back, their life lessons back. And we need to look at what's holding us down, what's keeping us in fear and in doubt, looking at the mud at our feet instead of the clouds in the sky, instead of the trees around us, instead of the faces of others. Why can't we let go? And it's because we have the devil here. And the devil is in the details of if I'm just perfect, if I can just do everything, then everything will be great. And that's never going to be. So what that means then is that we will never be great. Excuse me. With the devil. The devil is our trappings, our fears, our doubts, our addictions, our disabilities, everything that we think weighs us down, chains us, makes us down, makes us less than. And with the devil, it's very subtle because the chains around their necks are the chains that they can take off. So here, they can relieve themselves of them. They don't need to be chained. But because the devil is sneaky, the devil is the conglomeration of the chaos gods of old, also the destruction gods of old. So is the devil necessarily bad? Yes, in the way that we view the devil now in our modern Judeo-Christian teachings, yes, the devil is bad. But the chaos that the devil originally symbolized is not necessarily bad all the time. It is the chaos of life, but it's also the striving of man. In ancient Sumeria, one of the first texts, I believe it was in Sumeria, they talk about civilization being formed, and that with civilization being formed comes the greed and anger and desire of man that has to be dealt with, that has to be curtailed. And so we can see that anger, that devil aspect in all forms of humanity, from ancient times to present times. What we're looking at here is why are we bound? And what are we bound to? What is the thing that holds us back, that keeps our words from being heard within ourselves, that keeps us small, that keeps us invisible, or that has it so that we're being seen, but by the people that we think we want to be, instead of the people that we actually are? I was listening to this Buddhist monk talk on YouTube about how he found his path and how he just wanted to be like all his friends when he started. And he was a dancer, and all his friends were so extroverted, but he was really introverted. And then he wound up finding his path to being a monk. And it freed him from the chains that bound him, from the ways that society said, oh, you should be like this. Being more extroverted is better than being more introverted. Well, for certain paths it is. For others, it is not. For certain people, being introverted is just fine. For others, it isn't. So we have to know ourselves. And we have to know the mold that we're trying to fit ourselves into and why. And it's time to start to free us. Free us from the hurts and the pains and the disappointments, the angers that have shaped us, the wounds that we carry and have been carrying for such a long time. It moves us then to the Fool, to being the hero of our own story, to opening up the door, to saying, yes, I can, instead of no, I can't. Remember, when we take the weight off our shoulders, right? When we push the door open, when we look at the devil, we look at the angers, the hurts, the disappointments, the chaos, and we free ourselves from it, not all at once, but gradually and powerfully. We become the heroes of our story, and every single hero is originally a fool. And so here we start walking towards what we desire, and we're warned by the subconscious part of ourselves to watch out for the cliff, but also not to forget subconsciously what is guiding us, not to forget the underlying issues that we have, as all people have them. And we start moving forward. We start going after what we want and what we need and who we are and where we want to be. And we open ourselves up. This is a very vulnerable stance. We open ourselves up to celebration, to exploration, to knowing that when I leap, I will fall. That's part of leaping. You can't just leap and stay in the air forever. You have to come back down. So here, it's understanding that. But it's also understanding that I am winning. I am moving. I am the hero of my tale. And nobody else tells my story quite like me. And it moves us then to having greater insight into the Five of Pentacles, because that's linked to the devil energy here. Show me clearly the Five of Pentacles. Define the Five of Pentacles for Pisces. Please define the Five of Pentacles for Pisces. Please define the Five of Pentacles for Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. One bonus card. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, oh goodness, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. So over all of this, the bonus card of the Nine of Wands is like we're listening to too many different people. We're listening to too much, okay? We're trying to be too much. We need to listen to one thing. We need to find that truth that rings clear. It's kind of like the singing bowl that chimes clear for us. It doesn't mean that everybody else has to be inspired by that person or by that idea. It means that, that we ourselves have to be. And then following that idea forward, seeing where it takes us. I remember I had was it a professor in college or a teacher in high school? No, it was a professor in college that said you do not just read what the people you're reading read. Like, you do not just read what I assign you. Read everything that person wrote for all the books that inspire you. And everything that they read in order to be inspired. And it just was an endless array. And I thought, you could never do this. And their statement was, well, you're not supposed to do it all at once, but you're supposed to do it all at time. To follow inspiration, to follow that spark, to say, well, that resonates with me, that doesn't resonate with me, oh, that opens up my mind, I see things differently that way, that is utter nonsense to me. And it stops the world from coming at us. It might seem like, oh my gosh, dang, you just said for the whole world now to come at me more. It's like, no, it's for the world to open up our minds. And it's not everybody telling us how to live. It's us training our minds how to discover, how to wonder, how to grow, how to build, how to be inspired. And it moves us to the Wheel of Fortune. It moves us to a new way of being because we're done with the poverty mentality. And as we're following richness, not of wealth, but it can lead to wealth most definitely, not of wealth instantaneously, but of curiosity and desire and expectations and wonderment. It starts to change things for us. It starts to lead us to a growth, to an understanding. This Wheel of Fortune, the fortunes change. It's a new season. Here, the angel is untangling the mess that we made. Why? So that we can have a brighter future. And think more kindly back on yesterday's. So we're entering into a new season, but we're also having the muck and the mire that is a part of us and humanity kind of smoothed out, so that when we look forward, we're not so overwhelmed. And when we look backwards, we're not so despairing or reminiscent. It leads us to the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is balance. The Two of Pentacles is saying, okay, the poverty mentality comes. And one of the traps that I've fallen into is that I try to balance everything. I wind up balancing nothing. And I myself am not balanced. I'm not centered in this situation. What's gone wrong? I've lost track of me. That's what's gone wrong. The poverty, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment. It might be actual poverty right now. Sitting there and wondering, how do I pay the bills? Where do I get my money from? Or, how do I move forward? There's a sense here of first and foremost needing to take care of who we are, which seems counterintuitive, because when we're in that situation, we're in fight or flight mode. It's like, okay, I need to get an extra job. I need to get, instead of working 2 jobs, I need to work 3 jobs. Instead of doing this, I need to do that. And I'm just going to burn myself out all the time. If we can step back just a little bit, if we can find help and support, that's really important, because the thing that they're walking away from is an institution. Now, this is the church here that they are walking past, or a building with stained glass windows, and not going in. It can be that they're not being aided the way that they need to be aided, that they're being overlooked. And there can also be a sense that being a part of something more, it's what's supposed to connect us. So asking for help is important. And there's a need here for balance. Not to say I'll just put more on my shoulders until I burn out. As a person who tends to do this themselves, it's stepping back and it's saying, okay, I don't need to do everything. It doesn't need to be to everybody else's standards, because that's tearing me apart. I need to balance me. And then I can start to juggle everything that needs to be done. But I also start to give the responsibility to people who need that responsibility. This is what you have to take care of. This is what you have to do. Other people have to start picking up their burdens and carrying them. It's not just all on you. And it leads us then to being a student of our passion as we move forward, as we go after what we want, as we go after what we need. This can also be a child, a fire sign energy child that inspires us, that has us looking at things differently, that we might think, oh my gosh, you're such a handful, like, oh my goodness. But in the same instant, we admire their tenacity and their courageousness and their courage. So here we start to open up our world, because we start to ask questions. We start to see things differently. We start to embrace us. And it brings us then to slow and steady build of prosperity. And so it's like what we need to do to stop the poverty mentality is be aware of it, first of all. Instead of just thinking that's the way life is. No, this is a knot in a mess that my angels need to detangle. It's kind of like when you're combing a little kid's hair and it's just so knotted. And you're sitting there, you're like, just sit, quietly, and I'll detangle this. But it takes time and it's painful. So it takes time and it's painful. But the mess is being detangled. And now let's look at the devil energy here. Let's have that defined. Please define the devil energy for Pisces. Please define the devil energy for Pisces. Please define the devil energy for Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, the 3 of Swords. It's heartbreak and it's pain and it's disappointment. Well, that makes sense, most definitely. The devil during this time isn't just going to be addictions, it can be addictions and pains and disappointments. It's literal heartbreaks. It's the times we've left ourselves vulnerable and everything has fallen apart. It's the pains that don't go away with time. It's the devastation that keeps us stuck. And so the devil has us chained because it knows our weaknesses. It knows our shames. It knows our guilt. And so here with the 3 of Swords, there's a need not to be ruled by that guilt and that shame. Whatever that guilt and that shame is, addictions, heartbreaks, bad decisions, disabilities. We can be ashamed of our own disabilities and think, why can't I be like a normal person? Well, it's because we weren't meant to be normal. As a person who is disabled, you're meant to stand out, even in the ways that you don't want to stand out. So it makes you different from the rest. And we look at the pains that have shaped us. And instead of saying, those are the scars that will always be opened, will always be bleeding, will always be raw and wounded. Now we look at them and we say, this is the scar of the battle that I have been through. This is the scar that has healed, and I am stronger because I hold it. And now we own that pain, and it works for us instead of it being worked against us. Let's see. Please define the Six of Swords. Please define the Six of Swords for Pisces. Please define the Six of Swords. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, right there. Okay. We'll turn them over. The Tower, the Five of Air, the Star, and the Four of Earth. So we have the Tower, we have Aquarius energy, which is star energy, which the Aquarius is represented by the Star in the major arcana. So we have what the story that comes forward here is that we've been shaken out of our comfort zone. We've had to move. That's what we've gathered up our knowledge. We've gathered up our understanding. Why? Because divinity has thrown us out of our comfort zone. As we move forward, we're facing fears, doubts, angers, upsets that we've had to face before. It isn't easy sailing, and we can see the emotional turmoil there and torment. We can see the people who are huddled together, if we can get this up, trying to keep them safe. The child, the innocence, the adult, the knowledge. And so we face what we do not want to be facing, but we face it, and we face it head on, and we start to win. We start to see. Things start to change, because we're not the same person. It brings us to our greatest wish, which gets knocked down by the sense of vampiric energy, of no, you can't, of I'm going to drain this positivity, this beauty from you and leave you lacking. And here, there is this sense of no. Divinity is hearing what I need, maybe not what I want, so it can feel like a double-edged sword type of thing coming in, or a blessing that isn't really a blessing at times, but it starts to move us. And we start to see that we're standing up taller, we're understanding things more vibrantly for us, because we're pushing our limitations, we're pushing ourselves, and it's opening up our world. And we ourselves are opening up. So it's releasing that vampiric energy, that sense that I have to hold on to what I have. Because if I don't hold on to this, fiercely and strongly and stubbornly, it will all fall apart. And I can't, or it'll all be taken away. And it's because we've been through that before with the Tower, that we fear this as we move forward. But there needs to be this level of faith in ourselves, of sense of I'm being guided. And that guidance is like everything, because it is divinity. So let's see what the spirit animals have to say. Pisces, May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The wombat spirit, which we had for Aquarius last time, which is very, very funny. So here, that wombat spirit comes up again. You have this very strong link with Aquarius during this time. Be at home. Be at home within yourself. Be at home within what you desire. Be at home within your soul and your being. Know that you are safe within your mind, within your essence. Know that you are connected to a greater power and to a passionate being. Our subconscious spirit animal message, oh goodness, is the skunk spirit. Know your worth. Throughout this whole reading, knowing your worth is intrinsically important. To not undersell yourself, underestimate yourself. It moves us to our subconscious definition of the Five of Pentacles, which is the sun. If we can move past the poverty mentality to the self-sabotaging, from the self-sabotaging to the blessing of the self, we have the sun. We have joy, we have happiness, we have success, we have bounty, we have beauty. We have the most celebrated card in the whole entire tarot. It leads us then to our subconscious meaning of the devil. And that is the Page of Cups. By facing what binds us, we get propelled back into our childhoods. We look at things and say, okay, that's a scar. That's something that I have to be aware of. We can't change it. We can't go back in time and change things. But we can be aware of things so that we change the way they affect us, the way they mandate us now. This is also us opening up our eyes and our minds and saying, I don't know everything. And I don't need to know everything. What I am doing is discovering, moving myself forward, opening up the door, being more me. And as I am embracing power and beauty and success within myself. And it leads us to going deeper into the subconscious message of the Six of Swords. And that's the Five of Water. Change your mind and change your life. Change what it is that you're looking at. And you'll start to see the blessings. The subconscious chakra message is communication, the third chakra. The way we communicate, the way we connect. It's going to be intrinsically important to us. It is important anyway, but sometimes we can be silent and in our own heads and going off of the emotional feelings of things. And that's satisfying for Pisces. But here, this is a sense of, I need more. I need to communicate. I need to hear. I need to understand. I need to see. Seeing people's faces is going to also be very important to us during this time. But listening and connecting. Communication that isn't just the words that are said, but it's everything that it's implied. It's the power of those words. It's the power of being able to listen. It's the power of eye contact and connection. It moves us then to the subconscious person message, which is strength. Be wary of those who need to be strong through dominance, like you will listen to me. Strength that is honored, especially by you, Pisces, is not the brute force strength, but the humane, aware strength. And it brings us then to the subconscious message for this whole entire reading. I love it. You came up first, where the cards fell, and there's a few more to go, which I'm getting to. But Spirit is like, no, stop here. And this is you. This is the very essence of you, Pisces, within the tarot. So subconsciously, we have to not get in our own way through fear and doubt. But we have to start saying, I understand that there will always be a push and a pull in life. There will always be two ways that my mind, my heart, my soul sees things, understands things. I'm embracing the power of me. I'm embracing the power of fear. And the fact that fear does not get to define my life. It moves us to then going to the subconscious message, which is the Two of Pentacles. I need to be balanced in order to balance everything that's on my plate. And I need to have myself emotionally balanced because that is where my essence lies. I'm a water sign energy. The moon controls the water. And I need my emotions to be balanced for me to be aware and a part of life again. Maybe not a part of life again, but feeling successful and powerful within this life. It's like it comes from being balanced within me. Okay. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the change that we are going through, the blessing of the prosperity that is guiding us forward, and a sense of a new journey, a new chapter opening. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces.